The body of a Proteus amoeba. Or can we call it a body when it does not have a clear head, arms, or eyes? When we think of a body, our mind starts looking for references associated with our own body. We try to make analogies to recognizable forms in the natural world. In this book, Elkins recounts the struggles of the amoeba discoverer to define the shape and form of the creature in his microscope. Quote, "The amoeba once called blind Proteus, after the god who changes his shape. It spills its arms into his legs continuously, turns its stomach into bladders, and moves its anus to any spot in his body." Can you even make sense of your own body when your anus travels from head to toe and can be virtually anywhere? How can somebody imagine a body like that? Well, it looks like it's possible in the art world. Picasso did it. Yet today it is hard for some people to make sense of some Picasso paintings. Our brain is more designed for complete, clearly bounded, balanced bodies. Something more like the Vitruvian Man. In this chapter, chapter 4, Seeing Bodies, from the book The Object Stares Back, James Elkins talks about how our mind has a preference for objects that are complete, especially bodies that are complete, and we tend to make analogies to recognizable bodies in our environment. And I'm interested in this chapter because bodies is part of my work, especially complete bodies. He begins by describing how the figures of animals and other recognizable shapes can be seen in the stars. How can you even tell from a group of random stars that this is a bear? And such with other constellations. This has to do with the principle of Gestalt, when our mind tries to complete a figure from the parts, tries to see the whole. That is why some of the most popular works in our history are works that are in some way incomplete or perceived as incomplete. Our mind is fascinated with the parts that are missing. The great masters of the figure understood well the defining, how important it was to define the figure. In this example of Albrecht Dürer, we can see how he defined the figure by making a strong contrast with the background. In other cases, he would prefer to use a clearly defined line. Some of the people that worked in commercial art and created the pinups understood this principle pretty well. I'm personally affected by this defined line when one of my favorite artists, Alphonse Mucha, used this device in his popular posters. This is actually one of the elements that attracts me the most about his work. Other pinups and comic books also use this contour line. Influenced by this, I personally use the same element in my work. In many of my paintings, I feel that a figure is not complete until I define it with a really strong line. It makes me look to my eyes more solid, more powerful, more complete. As in a natural progression in human history, once you have a body, it would not be a normal body if it didn't have the ability to move. This is what Michelangelo and other masters of the mannerism understood when they gave the body that signature contortion to create the illusion of a body movement. Later technology would actually be able to register and animate a body. And much later, Marcel Duchamp would create his nude descending staircase, where he finally would set the body free from the boundaries of a contour line and turn it into an abstraction of pure movement. A delight for the mind and for the eye to search for any recognizable parts in the body, or any recognizable character.